Are you a pro at procrastinating? I'm Liz Arendt, founder of the Top 1%, and I'd like to share with you my top tips if you're a procrastinator. So, the interesting thing about people that love to procrastinate is that if I ask, okay, who's a procrastinator here? They don't procrastinate on that, they put their hands up first. So, you're telling yourself a lie, right? Which brings me to my first point. Don't label yourself a procrastinator, because labels suck. That old quote of sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never harm me is a load of bollocks. Names do harm. And it's one of the reasons I find people 10, 20, 30, 40 years in my office or online where I'm coaching them of a name that they were called years ago that still impacts them today negatively. So don't call yourself a procrastinator. That's the first thing. Because what I find in our world is that people tend to struggle with three things. It's that balance between procrastination, progress, and perfection. Where do you sit in that box? The next thing I want to add about procrastinating, when you do find yourself in that procrastinating behavior, this is what I do. I've got my timer here. You can use your phone, if all phones have timers. And I literally set myself for, well, you can see it's already there on the 5-minute mark. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it for 5 minutes. Or I'm just going to do one thing on that project or on that task. Or I'll just do it for 5 minutes. Because before, I used to struggle many years ago with just getting started on what might seem like an almighty mammoth project. And guess what? I've learned now to just go, do you know what? I'm just going to do 5 minutes. Or I'm just going to do 20 minutes. And when you do 5 minutes, you'll find you start to get into it, right? Because guess what? The other thing with 5 is, my next tip, is the 5-second rule. I did it this morning to get out of bed. It's the 5-second rule of, right, I've got to do this thing. It's growing in my head. It's getting bigger. It's bugging me. 5-second rule. Right. Do you know what? I'm just going to take one bite out of this task or this project or this thing that I have to do. And then I go, right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So this morning it was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. And you get up. So the other thing about procrastinating is that the longer you procrastinate, the bigger it gets in your head and the more painful it becomes. And the problem with getting bigger in your head and the more painful it becomes is you tend to put yourself further away from that thing that you need to do. I think to myself about when I set up the Get It Done program, which is an online program for a small group of people, maximum 5 people. We meet weekly for 12 weeks. And I was setting this up when COVID started to take its hold. And I thought there are so many people out there that have things that they want to do, but they've just never got around to doing it, or they now become too scared of it. The problem seems too big. The task seems too problematic. And so I then set up this program. But you know what? Hands up. Took me a lot longer to set it up because I was thinking, is there a need out there? I know there was, but what's the shape of the program? How's it going to look? And I had that perfectionism thing inside of me, which is much less than it used to be before, but I wanted to be brilliant because guess what? Working in the top 1%, I expect my stuff to be top 1%. But you know how I got around that? I decided to run a pilot program. So my procrastination on getting that program out to market, it squashed procrastination's butt right down. And it removed the excuse of procrastinating. I set up a pilot, which then removed my need for perfection. So pilot, have a go. So what might that be for you? What might the pilot version be for you? Might it be a pilot? Might it be something that you just try out, give it a go, play with it? So now, what's that one thing that's been niggling in your head that you really must get done? Get the timer, stop calling yourself a procrastinator, have a go, play with it, and if all else fails, speak to me about joining our Get It Done program, because I can tell you, we will smash it out the park and get it done. Become a pro at progressing. I'll see you at the top.